Hello, everyone. It's me, Gregory. I am the Dragon King, and welcome back to the Dragon's Den. I've been away for a couple of days because I was thinking that um, I was watching the subscribership, and I thought, well, nobody's really subscribing to the type of stuff that I'm doing. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm determined to keep going no matter what. And maybe I will find the right people, or they will find me, and they will want to get involved with the stories that I'm talking about and the things that I'm talking about on the channel. I realized that this is not something that I can take for granted because as someone who is black, as someone who is LGBTQIA plus, I think it's necessary for me to continue on, and even if it's just a few small portion of you who respect and understand what I'm doing, it will be necessary for me to continue the work that I'm doing. I also said to myself, and know it to be true, that as someone who supports the LGBTQIA plus community, because I'm in that community, there is nothing wrong with doing fun stuff, creative stuff on this channel, particularly reality shows and things of that nature. We all need that escape. However, there are so many things that are going on within the gay community that is really being hidden, and we all are being subjected to it inadvertently due to our lack of knowledge of trying to find out what's really going on. It's happening to us every day, all day. So I decided that I'm going to continue the YouTube channel, videos. I'm going to continue to just do what I've been doing, and I will find those people who want to know what else is going on with us in our community, because it's important that we don't stop talking about those issues that we are dealing with, because the less we talk about it, the more damage will be done to our rights, to our abilities to function LGBTQIA plus American citizens, naturalized or not. It's important that we continue to reveal and uncover all this stuff that is going on. And I think that I will find that community that will support me, and I will support them, my followers. And so that's why I'm going to continue on with the channel. Not that I was doubting it, but I was taking a little time to kind of figure out where people's headed. But like I said, enough people in our community who have YouTube videos, YouTube channels, are not trying to focus on things that affect our community. We're not doing it. There's very few of us out here, which is kind of disturbing, and really a strategy used by right wing Republican, ultra conservative people to say, they're dominating YouTube. They're dominating YouTube, and there's not enough of us who are in the community trying to help people within our own community see what's happening to us in regards to legislation, in regards to all things that are really affecting us. And so I'm going to be one of those people to the best of my ability. So eventually I will find those people that understand why it is necessary for me to do what I do and bring these issues to light. So here I go. So today's first story is this is kind of old. Like I said, I took some time off to kind of reevaluate things, but I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to do these stories that matter, do a little fun stuff too, but also do the stories that matter. So from LGBTQ Nation, this is a story by Bill Browning. The story is under the good news portion of the LGBTQNation.com website. It says here, Governor marched to legislature to tell trans rights activists that he'll veto every anti-trans bill. Now, this governor is Governor Evers here in Wisconsin, and he has been a supporter of the LGBTQIA plus community. I don't know how long, but I know that he is now. So it's important that the story gets out. So Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, Democrat, made a dramatic and unusual appearance at the state legislature to testify against proposed anti-trans bills pushed by Republicans. So many opponents showed up to testify against the bill that some had to stay in overflow rooms, which is a good sign, right? Evers marched into one of the rooms and vowed to veto any bill that managed to pass. So we got a good governor who's trying to do those things. It says, "You've got my support of all these. We're going to veto every single one of them." The governor said, "The only way we can do that is to continue to be strong, just like everyone in this room." Okay. I'm just here to thank you. I know you're here because you're pissed off and you want to stop it, and you will stop it, and I'll help you stop it. I'm with you. Now it goes on to say, over 10,000 pages of testimony was submitted opposing the proposed laws. Representatives from most of the state's major hospitals, the American Pediatric Association, and the American Medical Association attended the hearings. Some submitted testimony against the bill. Now, what exactly? Did I miss the first page? Okay. No, I got it. Every major American medical association opposes restrictions on gender-affirming care. So that's what this is about. Representatives from the groups have testified in state legislatures around the nation and spoken out publicly in support. There is I believe this is a tweet, but I'm going to go ahead and read it. "Trans kids deserve to feel safe and welcome in Wisconsin, not discriminated against. They deserve the freedom to just be kids, play sports, and get the health care they need, all without politicians butting in. Thanks for standing up for LGBTQ kids." This is somebody who wrote this and saying thank you for Governor Evers' efforts, which, is understandable because I've said in multiple conversations that I've had, multiple videos, that multiple conversations need to be had. Like I said, I do believe that parents and legal guardians should have these conversations with their children, whether they believe they're a young girl inside and want to be a trans woman, or a young boy inside and want to be a trans man. There's nothing wrong with having those conversations, but at the end of the day, a politician shouldn't be involved in those conversations. A politician shouldn't have the decision of yeah or nay. That's between the parent and that child who is going to or believe that they have to make that transition. And I think that Governor Evers is doing the right thing. I think that he's allowing it to be up to the parents and have those conversations with their children, because multiple conversations could end up, okay, the child actually makes the transition, or multiple conversations could end up with the child not making that transition until they've, become an adult or not. But at the end of the day, those are conversations that should be left up to the parents and that child. To have the government intrude and not at least giving the child the right health care if and when they decide to make their transition is ridiculous. If they're paying for it, and doctors are recognizing it, or whatever medical process they go through are recognizing, why is it left up to the state to decide, no, that's not going to happen, we're not going to support that, we're not going to fund that, or whatever. I just think that enough is enough. Like, when are we going to just let well enough be well enough? Like, you don't support trans, don't get involved in somebody else's trans family. You know what I'm saying? You don't. It's none of your business. And I think that we have a governor who's trying to do the right thing, but I think a lot of it is just, here in the Midwest, we're in that whole chasm of, our values, our morals, our this, and trust me, it's not that way at all. But anyway, moving forward, I just hope that he does veto these bills and all of that. The information is only a week old, but still, it's important that it's said and done, that it does get the attention is drawn to it. So kudos to Governor Evers. Okay, now the second story that we have here. This is more of a story about racial injustice when it comes to our legal system. Okay, this story came from USA Today. The story is from a Nadia Yancey-Bragg, and it's titled "Cops are on trial in two high-profile cases. Is it easier to prosecute police now?" Okay, it says closing arguments are expected to begin Tuesday in the trial of one current and one former Aurora police officer charged in the 2019 death of 23-year-old massage therapist Elijah McClain. The officers have pleaded not guilty to criminal negligent homicide, manslaughter, and assault. In Washington, jurors in the trial of three Tacoma Police Department officers are expected to hear more testimony about the death of 33-year-old Manuel Ellis, who died in 2020 after telling officers he couldn't breathe multiple times during a struggle that was captured on camera. The officers face second-degree murder or first-degree manslaughter charges and have pleaded not guilty. Okay. Meanwhile, in Tennessee, and most of you have heard about this one, 5 former Memphis police officers charged in January beating and death of 29-year-old Tyree Nichols are waiting to learn when they will stand in state court. The officers have pleaded not guilty to second-degree murder and other charges in the case. Across the United States, the number of police officers charged with violent or on-duty crimes, including murder, manslaughter, and assault, has increased in recent years, in part because of increased public scrutiny, new technology, and legal changes that have helped make prosecutions possible. Still, such charges for police officers remain rare, and convictions are rare still, data shows. So, in a nutshell, right, this article is saying, is it easier to prosecute police officers? And the answer is no. It's no. I don't know if it's designed that way. I don't know if it's needed to be that way. But when you talk about, the crimes against everyday citizens, you have to wonder what is really going on. Like, where are we? Why haven't these police everyday citizen relationships gotten any better? Some might argue from the police side that citizens are not complying with the police. They are not abiding by laws. They're testing the system. They're not wanting the system to work against them, but when they need it to work for them, they are in support of it. Now, from the everyday citizen perspective, there are some decent police officers, but not enough. In certain neighborhoods, there is this preconceived notion that everybody's doing crime, everybody's going to try and take what's not theirs. So when you have those type of mentalities and not a real conversation, you don't understand the what's really going on. There's a YouTuber, I don't know what his name is, and y'all can go look it up. He basically said he does this little series called An Uncomfortable Conversation. And he had an uncomfortable conversation with, I believe, 3 white police officers. A better conversation would have been you had those police officers that actually people from the neighborhood in which they police. Not known criminals, or not anybody, but just sit down with them and they could have you would have a better uncomfortable conversation video about what's really going on. And I think, that would have been a better idea of what's really going on. Whether or not, the truth was being told from either side, those would have been better conversations. It would have been more relatable conversation, but people are choosing not to really, if you're trying to bridge the gap between two communities, have the right people represent, each side of that community, because then you get a plethora of what's really going on. So with those type of mentalities, people are they want laws to change. They want people to be held accountable. Now you have departments like the Internal Affairs, who investigate these type of crimes, but more often than not, a lot of people have a relationship with these officers. A lot of people have a idea of where they police and the people that live there. So that investigation allegedly might not even be a very thorough one, more of a surface one to help support the police officer when there might be clear evidence, because they're trying to keep that unity, they're trying to keep that camaraderie with those officers, although the department and the people that's hired for that are designed to not be that way. It's just not going to happen. A lot of them are not going to be unbiased, and unfortunately, those departments like Internal Affairs and other departments within the police system, they too need to be investigated under a third party. And I don't know if that's such a thing, but I know that the Internal Affairs is designed to uncover those police um, um, uh, concerns that the public have, particularly if it's an officer who's known for those type of things. But a lot of them are not going to be unbiased. That's just not the reality of it, unfortunately, for the American citizen who is just trying to find justice. So I think it should be easier to prosecute a police officer with the same scrutiny, with the same thoroughness that supposedly you're supposed to be giving the average criminal. They're going to do it, the same scrutiny needs to be done, the same thoroughness, the same, and that third party investigators non-biased. But again, you're not going to have a non-biased person in the police department trying to get rid of a police officer unless that officer has a track record, has a proven disciplinary issue that cannot be denied, and only then where they get the same type of scrutinized and focused attention on dealing with that person, make sure they pay for their crimes. Other than that, it's just, I don't believe that it will ever happen. You know what I'm saying? So that's my thoughts on that. Now, the next story from LGBTQNationAgain.com. This story is done by Daniel Villarreal. And this story says NHL National Hockey League bans players from using rainbow colored tape on hockey sticks. Okay. The National Hockey League, NHL, the highest level of professional ice hockey league representing 32 North American teams, has banned individual players from wrapping their hockey sticks with rainbow-colored pride tape during warm-up games and practices. The new prohibition is just the latest development in the NHL's rollback of its LGBTQ plus support amid a wave of anti-queer blowback to companies that support queer pride. The prohibition flies in the face of the league's LGBTQ plus inclusive hockey is for everyone campaign. Okay, so this story is really not saying a whole lot. It says last Thursday the NHL issued a memo to all teams. This would have been October the 10th, so it's probably the first week of October. I'm late, but just hang with me. With clarification on its June decision to ban players from wearing pride-themed warm-up jerseys during the team's LGBTQ plus inclusive Pride Nights. The ban also prevents players from wearing jerseys commemorating military veterans, people with cancer, and others. Okay. The new memo said in part, players should not be put in the position of having to demonstrate or where they may be appearing to demonstrate personal support for any special initiative. I don't know if I agree with that. A factor that may be considered in this regard includes, for example, whether a player or players is required to be in close proximity to any groups or individuals, visibly or otherwise, clearly associated with such special initiatives. The aforementioned website also confirmed that the NHL banned individual players from applying pride tape on their hockey sticks. Okay. The thing about this story is basically, why not? Okay. This idea that masculinity does not permeate, does not live, does not exist in sports, whether it be hockey, football, baseball, soccer, it's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But because that masculinity happens to become in the form of a gay man shouldn't be expressed and put on display is absurd. I mean, why not? Why not? You know, there are a lot of masculine homosexuals who love sports. And that to me, if they were just to display the rainbow flag on hikes, it says that, you know, you can be masculine and gay at the same time. You can be feminine. You can be whatever and gay at the same time. This is a sport that all can enjoy, all can appreciate. I mean, are we really being that trivial? Are we really being that trivial where we cannot, you know, showcase a rainbow? This is a rainbow. This is something that's representing people's pride. Because I'm quite sure a lot of the hockey, football, well, ain't no quite sure. We know for a fact that a lot of the hockey, football, basketball, rugby, baseball players, all that, a lot of them are gay, you know, but because they have a passion for that athleticism, to be a part of a team, to be a part of something bigger than they are, you know, they're on those teams. They want to play. They want to exercise it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think now it's just a clear sign that, you know, the pushback is this is a minor pushback, but it's still adding to the fuel that, you know, people are pushing back on gays and our rights and things like that, and I just don't understand it. I believe that sports are for everyone who's enjoying them, just like cooking. You know what I'm saying? A long time ago, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you didn't see the prevalency of men cooking on film, you know, on television. Now, you turn on a damn television, a man is in the kitchen 10 times more than a woman is. Whether he's baking a cake or making a salad, grilling, you know what I'm saying? They're there, they're out there. So are we to think that every male is gay then? No. But some of them are. We're trying to take away. You're not going to take away masculinity. That's my whole point. You're not going to take away the masculinity of a sport by displaying a gay rainbow flag. You wouldn't. Same thing with cooking. All these male chefs. You're not taking away from a woman being in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? For a woman being able to be a woman and make. If a man is seen doing the cooking now, you're not emasculating that man or the male by having him in the kitchen. No, it's just the same thing with hockey. You're not emasculating a man who plays hockey or any other sport by displaying the rainbow flag. I mean, if anything, you're embracing that, you know, gays are masculine. They involved in sports just like anybody else is, and that's what it is. But again, you're seeing all this pushback, and it's just, you know, it's just another example of, you know, they don't want the LGBTQIA plus to be seen. You know what I'm saying? Not even heard. And so, I mean, it's not making sense. Like, why is this psychodrama happening on, you know, in sports? Like, we know gay men are in sports. You know, nobody is saying that at every sports game in the world there needs to be a rainbow flag going across the field. Nobody is saying that. What we are seeing is if you do see a gay pride on a hockey stick or on a football, that does not mean that every male on there is gay, for one, or two, we're emasculating the whole team, the whole male no, because gay men are masculine. It's an inclusive thing. It's saying you are accepted here, you're welcome here, you know, because of the love of the sport, the love of the team, the love of what we do. That's what it's saying. Okay. So, on to the final story. And we might do another video. Okay. The fourth story is, of course, NeNe Leakes, right? The former debunked queen of reality, which she's not. You know what I'm saying? She's the queen of the housewife franchise. Really, the queen of reality shows. I'm gonna have to give it to if we gonna give that title, then I'll give it to Tiffany Pallet from what is it? The Flavor of Love. You know what I'm saying? If anybody gonna get that title, it would be her, and then the infamous Omarosa. But NeNe Leakes is the queen of that particular part of the reality world, not the queen of reality in the whole. Let's make that clear. But anyway, this is from Radar Online. When did I get this story? I got it last week. Today is the 16th, so these stories are old, but I've been doing some other stuff. XRHOA, that's the Real Housewives of Atlanta, for those of you who are not in the know. A star, NeNe Leakes, accused of blowing off lawsuit over unpaid rent. Landlord demands $22,000. This story is by Ryan Newman from Radar Online. NeNe Leakes is accused of failing to show up to court and deal with a lawsuit despite being served with the paperwork. RadarOnline.com has learned. According to court documents obtained by RadarOnline.com, the ex-Real Housewives of Atlanta star former landlord has demanded a default judgment against Leakes. Okay, a company called MPG-Sugarloaf sued Leakes over unpaid rent owed over her now closed swag boutique. But she the rich bitch, right? That's what she's called herself. YouTube, don't block me. I ain't calling no woman a bitch. That's what she's called herself. In court documents, the landlord claimed Leakes signed the lease in 2017 and then extended it by a year into 2021. Leakes vacated the property in January 2022, but allegedly failed to pay the $2,900 owed in rent. Okay, maybe because nobody was buying that shit, them fashions. The landlord said it notified Leakes multiple times, but she refused to cough up the dough. Leakes had multiple swag boutique locations, but they closed down following the pandemic. It's funny that Candy's didn't go down. Candy, I don't know. Candy, her shit was established. I guess NeNe Leakes wasn't. I don't know. The reality star was served with the legal paperwork on August 16th outside of her $1 million condo in Atlanta. I thought she had a house. Okay, anyway. The server said they handed the documents to Leakes personally. After the lawsuit was filed, Leakes told the Jasmine brand, Greg signed the lease, not me. He ain't here. Really, NeNe? Really, NeNe? Greg signed the lease. The man has passed away to the great beyond, wherever that is for him. I ain't gonna say it's heaven because we don't know what nobody going. And believe it or not, none of y'all know where y'all going. I don't even want to hear it. So he signed the document to protect your interests. I get it. He was being a good husband, and he was trying to make sure that you had something around in case. So, but you were married to him. I don't know all the particulars of the Atlanta, Georgia law in terms of marriage and what is the spouse culpable for, whether the other one has passed away or not. But you married to him, so I would think that your expenses are his expenses. But like I said, y'all let me know in the comments, but it ain't making sense. Okay? So NeNe's husband, Greg, died on September 1st at the age of 66 after a long battle with cancer. Okay. So in newly filed documents, the landlord said Leakes has failed to respond to the lawsuit by the deadline of September 18th. As a result, the company wants the court to grant a default judgment in the amount of $22,900 and 75 cents. 75 cents is probably all you're gonna get. Plus attorney fees of $2,315 and another $416 for court costs. The landlord also wants interest tacked onto the bill. As RadarOnline.com previously reported, on top of the lawsuit, Leakes' oldest son, Bryson Bryant, was recently arrested for possession of fentanyl. The arrest went down on July 3rd and triggered a probation violation in a separate criminal case. Bryant will be locked up until early next year. Okay. As we first reported during his arrest, Bryant told the officer, okay, that's different. Okay, so my thing is this, right? NeNe Leakes, all we ever heard from this woman was that she was a rich bee. She cashed in Trump checks, although his money was not good money, but whatever. Seen her on Glee, seen her on the new normal and all that stuff. But at some point, her karma caught up with her. Okay, um, some prior to the Real Housewives of Atlanta, nobody had never heard of her. Right, so we don't know what her credit was like before. But like anybody in the United States of America, once you become a media person who's in society and you're on these reality shows, um, bad credit becomes good credit. That's just what it is. Bad credit becomes good credit for those who are in Hollywood. Until it doesn't anymore. Until you are no longer seen as viable. With this YouTube channel that she has, and she has now kind of rebooted and gave new life to, she may get enough sponsors a month to have that bill paid off, and probably by maybe a short time of 4 or 5 months. That's what I'm getting, and that's okay. But in the meantime, you owe people money. You tried to do what Candy was doing and you couldn't do it. Your entrepreneur skills hadn't been backed up with proper business experience. And I think that had nobody could have determined a pandemic, rightfully so. It was just something that happened all of a sudden. But I think, she was doing too much. She didn't have the right people behind her. She was opening up all these flags. She opened one at the MGM in Las Vegas and a few other places. Anybody in Las Vegas would have told you this is how this needs to be done. But I bet because she has an ego the size of Mount St. Helens, that she wouldn't want to talk to nobody. So when she opened up all these shops, she probably wasn't getting any real business experience, any real business knowledge from somebody who's been in the business, had businesses failed and didn't be successful afterwards. With her ego, with her I'm a rich bee type of thing attitude, she was just opening things up because she thought people were going to come to those businesses because she was NeNe Leakes. That is a short-lived answer to a permanent problem called, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to go bankrupt. Your money is going to be screwed up. And I think she had this idea that she was going to be successful on her name alone, and it just didn't work. It just didn't work. You had no proper experience. You weren't probably talking to the right folks. Like I said, you were opening up businesses and had not done the research, had not done anything. Because most businesses, particularly clothing businesses and entertainment venues, clubs, lounges, hence Lanithia, they don't last that long because the lifespan on them without proper education, without proper understanding of the market, competitiveness, the prices and things like that, it will fail. It will fail. And I think that this is what happened to her. But instead of, just accepting the L and understanding that, when, you got to pay, you got to pay. Just deal with it. How is anybody going to trust her if she can't pay out $22,000? How is she going to pay off $100,000? And and then not only that, there are other stories out there that say that her employees got blindsided and came to work and didn't even know they had a job. It was just stuff like that. So I think that moving forward, let all you reality stars, YouTube people included, understand that let NeNe Leakes be the precautionary tale that you can't just live off of your reality name alone, or Hollywood name alone. You really have to have the collateral. You gotta know what you're talking about. And NeNe Leakes is just getting a wake up call. But then again, like I said, her YouTube channel may be the very thing that is going to save her from not being able to pay her bills. For those that want to hear her talk and things like that. But yeah, so she tried it, she failed. Now it's time for accountability. So that's it. So that's all the stories I have for you today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Share the videos, tell everybody about it, let them know I'm doing some real stuff over here. I'm doing current, funny, and informative things, but let people know that I'm doing some real things over here. I have some good news coming up soon, probably another month. Hopefully, I'll be able to tell you some things that are going on, but yeah, just like, subscribe, and share this YouTube channel and tell everybody about it. And and once again, I'm gonna say this: I employ all gay folks like myself who are part of the LGBTQIA plus community. We have to start doing more than the salacious, funny stuff. That's cool. We all need that escape, but we need to be focused on what is going on outside of that in our local city, state, local, federal government, because a lot of what's happening is affecting us, and we need to be letting each other know, that it's going on. Nobody's saying your channel has to be a political channel, but we owe it to ourselves, we owe it to each other to let each other know what's going on in our community, because these people on these reality shows, they already living their lives. We want to make sure that we have one to live that's peaceful and is entertaining and successful as there, by understanding our power as LGBTQIA plus people. Regular people want to live, want to exist, want to be successful. We can't pretend that this stuff is not going on. If we want change, we're going to have to make it. And it starts by doing something like this on the YouTube channel. So again, don't forget to like, subscribe, share. I appreciate you all coming back. This is Gregory. I am the Dragon King, and this is the Dragon Den. Y'all have a good day. Bye-bye.